Hey everybody, welcome back to art class with Mr. Darby. Today we're going to be drawing some Christmas candles. I thought about it and realized, hey, we're spending a lot more time indoors in this cold weather. So, a perfect time to draw, a perfect subject. Let's draw some candles. Grab your pencil and paper. Let's get started. Okay, so for our Christmas candles today, we're going to do 3 candles near the middle of the paper. So I'd say let's start with the littlest one that's close to us. The first thing you want to do is, if this is the middle of your paper and your paper's turned horizontally, come a little bit to the left of the middle and make a smile. It doesn't need to be too wide. A wider smile would just make it a wider candle, and that would be okay. Alright, not touching the very edge here, we can make a line coming down and stop. This is the side of our candle. And then coming down and stop. Now this doesn't have to be at the same distance at the bottom because we are going to put a few decorations down here from those little berries that you don't want to eat or they'll make you sick, to our ferns or our pine needles and then pine cones too. So the next thing we want to do is kind of make a let's make a smile up here above it that's small in the center, okay? And then we can attach this to the edge at a diagonal on both sides. And so you see this shape is similar to this shape. And then above it, we're going to make it floating for now. It will be a little wick. All right, just a little wick. The next thing we want to do is add our flame. So the flame is kind of like an S, stretched out. And we're not going to do that on the other side. Instead, we'll just make it more like a C shape or like crescent moon shape coming down, and then we can do the same inside. 1 and 2. Don't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be just like mine, because every candle's different. Let's go ahead and put a little top on here, and it's almost like that upside down shape of the smile we made. That'll make it look a little 3D. If you want, we can add a reflection to make it look like the candle has a really shiny texture, and it's kind of a triangle shape. Go ahead and do that, and we'll do that on each one. Our next candle is up a little bit higher, and it's going to be hiding behind here. So let's go ahead and make our vertical line for the edge. Vertical just means up and down. And then we'll make our smile on here about the same size as the first one. So they're matching. And then we'll bring this one down. Let's bring this one down. I like to put a point, pretending that it's straight down underneath it. And we'll come down and connect. Alright, so if this flame is lit up and it's bright, that means that our shine would actually be on this side of the candle. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, and there will be shadows. You'll have shadows all along here. But the light has to be reflecting off of the candles. And then we're going to make another small smile following the bigger one above it in the same fashion. We're going to bring this down diagonally to the corner, and it's not touching the smile. If it's a smile, it's like a very plain smile. All right, same thing. This one, let's change the direction of the wick. So it kind of comes up this way and down. It's floating again. Then we can make the back of our candle kind of come up behind the wick and down. And all this does is makes it look like the candle's been lit for a little while and the wax is melting. There's no wax dripping over the edge, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and make our S and then our crescent. About the same size. You don't want to really make it too big, otherwise we'll need a fire extinguisher. And then draw the same shape inside, but smaller. Okay, I hope you're having fun with this. Now, you can do decorations on these. You can do all kinds of fun things. Let's make a bigger candle behind that. So just behind this edge. We're going to make this a wider candle too. We're going to make a smile here. And this smile should come out past the first one, and then we'll make our vertical line coming straight down, just like this. And remember now, this candle here is creating a reflection on this candle, so we can actually put this going right down behind it. And it's also making a reflection here from the other candle flame right here, like that. And then all this can be in shadow. We'll make this taller too. So let's make this come up a little bit. Make that. Following the first curve. And then bring it down at a diagonal and connect it to your edges. And we're repeating right now, just repeating over and over the same thing. So if you got good at this one and this one was practice, then this last one should be really nice. And then coming out of here, we'll make our last wick. Very nice. And let's make our flame going backwards this time. So on the left side, you were probably thinking we were going back to the right. On the left side, we'll make a backwards S coming down, connecting. And then on this side, we'll make our crescent coming in, just like that. This way it doesn't look too perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. And then there's the inside of our candle, and let's connect our top. Cool, right? Okay, let's make a little reflected light here, coming off the candle top. Let's make one here, coming off of this candle top. In the middle, it's mostly like a rectangle shape. And then we'll make another one here. Let's make this one go in the opposite direction as the first. And they're just like a rectangle that's rounded on the corners. It's not that bad. Okay, at the bottom down here, let's make some berries. All right, so let's do those winter berries. And we're going to make them overlapping. So they can be mostly round and not too big, like this. You can even put a little divot inside. It's almost like an S laying on its side, right? And now these are shiny, so we're going to have to put a reflected light on here. Let's do another one hiding behind it, about the same size. Let's do another one touching here, and let's do another one here. And so far, really the only one that's overlapped is this. And overlapping just means it's hiding behind it, right? So we can add a little line here, and a little line here, and here. Either way, though, there's going to be reflected light, so it's going to be a little brighter on the right top corner. The light's coming down and hitting it. Okay, so we got a few berries. Let's go ahead. We'll put one more berry. I don't know. Let's do another overlapping one here. I think that will make it look nice. Like this. And our reflection is still here. Okay. Let's stop for a second, and underneath the bottom right corner on this side, we want to make a pine cone. Pine cones can be difficult, so we're going to keep this one closed up so it's nice and small, and that way it's mostly just, well, let me show you. It comes up, and it's wiggly, and comes down like this. I don't know. What shape do you think that is? Maybe like that, actually. All right, so now it's going to be like a diamond. So watch how I do this. I'm gonna not connect it here, but come down a little bit and then make a wiggly line coming back, and it's mostly flat like that. And the reason we didn't connect it at the top is because I want my my fern. I guess we can make pine needles here, but we'll make the pine needles covering it. So how do you make pine needles? Pine needles aren't difficult, but they're a lot of work. So we're going to make pine needles coming out, coming over, and they're skinny. And now this is a time when it would be good to practice drawing long skinny shapes over and over and over, and they can overlap each other and be hiding, connecting at the ends. Maybe they're going different directions. This one goes this way. And they're kind of like spikes, but when we color them green, we'll all know for sure that we've been making pine needles. Let's make pine needles up here. And a pine needle here. Pine needles. And I'm not really sure what we were thinking when we do pine needles and pine cones by an open flame. Seems like a bad idea. All right, so I'm going to speed this up, but you take your time and you get your pine needles in there however you can. We're going to make them overlapping, back and forth, so that every time we finish one, another one starts. Good. That's probably enough. And then we'll color in between these. You can't see the bottom of the candle, but we'll color in between these with a darker green marker just to look like shadows. On our pine cone here, it's going to look like little, almost like diamond shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. See how they're like diamonds, just overlapping. Not perfect. There's a triangle one. They're kind of close together. I think what we get hung up on sometimes, we want it to be so perfect that we don't realize that everything looks different. Every pine cone looks different. No two pine cones look the same. I think the goal here is that we keep our triangular and diamond shapes close enough together so they look like a pine cone. We'll color the pine cone dark brown, but then we'll also do a light brown inside the diamonds and the triangle shapes. Nice and easy. Okay. If you think you need another one, add another one. In fact, add another pine cone. You could put it back here if you want to. Okay. There we have it, guys. That's our. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. Let's put a little Christmas bulb here. So right behind here, we can go ahead and make a little circle. On the top of it, we can make a curve. So there's like your curve. It follows the first circle and it's got lines down. And then this will be like the top of the bulb. So make lines coming up the sides. Let's make a curve following it, kind of parallel. We could put some lines here down it to look like the metal. And a loop. And another loop inside. And what are we missing? That's right, our reflection. So let's put a reflected light. If the light is over here and over here and over here, there will be a little shadow down in here from the candle, but then the flame is kind of giving a nice reflection for the reflected light up top. We can do that right there. Very nice, very nice. Let's make one more back here. And we'll make this one straight up and down this time. 2 lines up, following the curve, come out and up just a little bit, and then follow the curve again. Some little lines for the metal. Our loop, another loop inside it. And you can put your hooks on there if you want to, but I don't think it's going to look as nice if you do. That's my preference, not yours. I don't know. A couple more little needles sticking out. Okay, I'm going to grab my markers and we'll get started coloring it. We left room on this side so you can write Merry Christmas, Grandma, or Happy Holidays, Grandma, or I don't know why it's got to be your grandma, but maybe it's not, so you can fill it in. Write a note to somebody. Write a note to Santa. I don't care. Make it fun. Have at it. Let's get started. And there's our festive Christmas candle project. If you drew it along with me go ahead and send it to my email, adarbystudio@gmail.com. Also, add some comments if you have ideas of things that you want to be drawing here during the winter when it's cold outside and we just want to be in and be warm, but we also want to keep on doing things. So, guys, practice makes progress. Keep at it and have fun.